Suad Amiry presenta Niente, sesso in città, un libro Feltrinelli.
The title of the book, which is No Sex in the City, of course the city in this case is Ramallah. And the title has really many meanings. One of them is, the book, as you know, is about my women friends, and most of us are in our 50s, and we are going through menopause, some of the positive aspects of menopause, some of the negative aspects. Some people say there is more sex when you are in menopause, more safe sex. Some people say there is less sex. I am not in a position to tell you exactly now, but anyway, one of the meanings is really, it refers to my women friends about which the book is. But in the book I make a comparison between the middle-age crisis of our menopause, but also menopausal Palestine. And what I mean by that is Palestine going through a middle-age crisis, which is basically represented between Fatah and Hamas. And as I say, PLO has been ruling or leading the Palestinian people for almost 42 years, and when Hamas won. So for me, Palestine is going through menopause in two ways. One is by Fatah losing power, and in this sex here acquires the meaning of power, and Fatah or the PLO is losing that power. So there is no sex in the city for Fatah. For Hamas, it's a symbol of no sex in the city with the ruling of Hamas, meaning that there will be a social closure, a sort of a conservative attitude. In this meaning, sex is fun. Sex is a social openness that I am afraid, from a social point of view, that Hamas will lead us to a closed, socially closed society. It's not a fiction, it's reality. So we do meet, we try to meet every month, we don't always succeed. And it's symbolic, it's our cycle, so it's a meeting. And of course the book takes us through these dinners. And in the dinners, it's great fun. These dinner parties are really great fun. And the book, I describe the last, for the book, which is the last dinner before Hamas won. But normally we go there, and what I describe in the last chapter is really a real dinner. I wrote it, but I did not invent it. When you sit in a table, we were more, I didn't have the chance to write all their lives, but when you sit in a table and you're conscious to hear of what's happening around the table, you find that really you bring the reality of a Palestinian evening. You have the owner of the restaurant sort of giving compliments to the beautiful young woman whom I am jealous of and I make nasty comments about. You have people coming, talking about politics, because it was the night of elections, and here I talk about what we discuss as Palestinians concerning the possibility of Hamas winning, why is it winning, why we should give them the possibility of leading the Palestinian people. So you have one person against, one person for. Meanwhile, on the other end of the table, you have younger people discussing buttocks, how to make their face beautiful, which is true. The younger generation in Palestine now is not like us, the revolutionaries of the 60s, where we had a revolution which was full of sex, but we should have looked asexual. I don't know how it worked. We were not supposed to look elegant. And to tell you the truth, up till today, I feel very nervous when I look a little bit elegant or with a little bit of makeup. So around this table, you have two generations of Palestinians. One which is the Marxist or leftist or revolutionary. And you have today Palestine, younger people who are more concentrated about their profession, about their looks. So at that end, some people are talking about Botox operation in Beirut, and on the other end, you have people talking about our menopause. So really, it's what happens. So it is a real scene of what we talk about when we meet. Well, having the courage to touch all taboos is maybe a courage that a menopausal woman has. I think that one of the positive characteristics of a middle-aged woman is I don't care. I think this is why I think that menopause for me has a lot of positive aspects. And that's what I want to break the taboo from. I think that menopause has been always thought as a negative. For me, as Suad, really, truly, the best time of my life is 50 plus. I feel more relaxed, I feel more frank, and maybe I couldn't have written this book and I couldn't have been so frank if I was younger. So I think it's being menopausal helped me breaking most of the taboos. Also, I don't know, I touch on this in the book, that the phenomena of menopausal, how exaggerated it is sometimes. Of course, maybe sometimes in simpler, okay, maybe it differs between different classes. I personally think that the poor has the most positive, natural, sexual relations. It might be my fantasy, but I think the more people are intellectual, the richer they are, the further they are from nature. And then the complexity of sexuality and menopausal becomes more and more complex. So I think that, people, we change all the time. And our sexuality, of course, changes. And as I said, some women thought about safe sex. It's wonderful to be a menopausa. So, but I think it's my nature, because I did that in the other book. Maybe I broke other taboos, talking about the collaborators, the Palestinian society not being an ideal society, I signing an anti-PLO statement. I think it's important to try to break taboos, to become closer, because I think we all have our weaknesses, and we don't like to talk about our weaknesses. We like to idealize the situation, whether it's nationalism, and so it goes.
Suad Amiry ha presentato Niente, sesso in città, un libro Feltrinelli.